Cary, it's such a great honor to have you here with us in Contralona, and you just told me that you work in Puerto Rico, and you work for an issue that was very special for us.
Well, you're referring to the magazine. Yes, before Ring of Honor, one of my first ventures into the wrestling business was to do a magazine. My cousin was a writer and an editor, and the company he worked for in New York City, this is pre-internet. So the company he worked for, Sterling McFadden, had 40 magazine titles at the time, and they did distribute in Puerto Rico, and I just had this idea about doing a wrestling magazine in Puerto Rico. And this is when Victor Quinones had IWA, and Carlos Colon and Victor Jovica had WWC. And we were able to do 4 issues. It was difficult to get cooperation, but it was an exciting time. And Ring of Honor came next in my wrestling career.
Tell us about that, how that opportunity came to you.
Well, I knew the gentleman who started Ring of Honor in 2003, and I knew them from going to the ECW shows, and they didn't need my help. They had everything covered. Well, after about 6 shows, they came to me for financial help. I got in. There was a situation that happened with one of the management that we're not going to go into detail with, but I wound up buying out that person's portion in 2004, and there I was. I went from a silent partner to being a full-time owner of Ring of Honor Wrestling. And we went from doing shows in Philly, Boston, New York, then going to Chicago was a big deal. Going to Detroit was a big deal. We got involved with Pro Wrestling Noah, wound up going to Japan twice, going to England, going to the UK twice. And it was a rocky, rough road. We went through so many, but it bred so much talent. Now the talent would have been there regardless of, in other words, Bryan Danielson, if there was no Ring of Honor, still would have wrestled. But, Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, Tyler Black, the Briscoe brothers, Jay Lethal, one of the Ring of Honor originals, and the names go on and on as the era went on and on. I held on to the company. Financially, it wasn't a very wise thing, but my passion for the business, my love of pro wrestling, I knew we had a great product, and my ego also of not wanting to let go, and even a college student, a freshman college student who would, not even college, just someone who knew finances would have been like, you got to get rid of this, man. You're digging yourself in a hole. And I knew that. And the company should have closed really in like 2006. But like I said, the aforementioned reasons, the passion, the ego, blah, 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 I kept it open. And in 2010, the opportunity came through Jim Cornette, who knew Gary Juster, who knew Joe Koff from Sinclair. And here we are tonight.